Hello everyone, welcome to Roma Theory. We've got quite a lot of things to go through today. Champions League draw, last minute signings, an overview of what our transfer window has been. We are coming to the end of it, so we might as well give the concluding opinion on this. And also Solbakken, because Solbakken has decided to leave and to join Olympiacos in Greece. And now it's up to the two sides finding an agreement and making it happen. So we've got quite a lot of things to go through. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. I think it's only fair to start with last minute signings. Now, obviously, the transfer window ends tomorrow at midnight. Tomorrow is a way more important day than deadline day because we are playing I've said it yesterday, the first now or never game of the season, sold out stadium, Lukaku's presentation 1 hour before kickoff. It's going to be a very entertaining game, but so we don't care about deadline day tomorrow, frankly speaking. But obviously deadline day does happen, and if Jose needs to focus on the game, Thiago Pinto will definitely focus on maybe grabbing one last player. And you're probably asking, do I expect one last signing? I expect one last signing because, you see, deadline day is always full of opportunities because during deadline day, first of all, you have a lot of teams which, need to sell players and therefore didn't manage to sell players and will open up for loans. We've seen it with Lukaku 1 week before deadline day. It's going to happen with other players, so I think the opportunities are going to be there. We've seen it last season with Llorente. We bought him in the January window in deadline day. So I'm expecting one last, maybe loan signing and all of that. But I do also think that this last minute signing is very direct and linked to us selling. If we don't manage to sell Solbakken, I don't think we're going to get a new signing. I do think Solbakken will leave, and I think tonight he's got the two sides, the two parties are going to find an agreement. And I do think we are going to get one last player. But I think it's very much linked to whether we sell or not. Because, let's face it, the Lukaku signing might have been a loan, but the wages required for that signing are big for a team like us. So it has definitely occupied some money, which maybe we could have used if we didn't sign Lukaku. But I'm glad we used it on a good striker. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I am expecting one last signing, sneaky little Thiago Pinto loan in the last few hours of the transfer window. And who can this player be? Well, today there have been rumors of Eric Garcia from Barcelona. This would be a top-class signing because of the value of the player. Again, it's just complicated. For Barcelona to loan out Eric Garcia is already hard, but I can see it happen. Barcelona, we know Barcelona. They gotta sell players. They gotta make money. They are in a massive financial crash, which obviously they don't seem to care about much because of the power they have with the UEFA and all of that. But look, if we ask Barcelona to get Eric Garcia, I think they'll make it happen. Problem is, will they accept loans or will they not accept loans? Eric Garcia would be top class because he's young, because of the experience which he has. Used to play for Pep at City, now won the league with Barcelona, in a team which has evolved to be one of the best young teams in the world. You look at the likes of Pedri, Gavi, what's his name? The teenager who looks like an absolute beast, Yassine Lamal, and all of these players. Barcelona are good with these young players, and I think this would be a top class signing if it happens. I highly doubt it will happen, but look, if the opportunity comes that they loan him out, why not try like we did with Lukaku? Also, I think it's good because it would give quite a lot of competition to our centre-backs. You know, Mancini, Smalling, and Llorente have been our starting centre backs this season. Up to now, obviously, we're still at game week 3. We've got Ndika, who, with a bit more fitness in his legs, can definitely pull a challenge in competition to these 3 centre backs. And then if you add a player like Eric Garcia, I mean, you've got 5 top class defenders. So, again, it would be another great signing, but you look at the time which we have left, and it's, let's say, 24 hours, 25 hours, 26 hours. And you look at the team you got to negotiate with. You look at the conditions they have to open up to. It's hard, but so is Lukaku. I don't know. I think it can happen, but again, I think the conditions got to be there. So, but with that being said, it would be a top class signing. Let me know in the live chat what you think about Eric Garcia, if you would take him. A lot of teams are interested in him too, so competition would be big on that front too. But yeah, let me know if it's a yes or a no, or do you think it'll happen? Do you think it's too complicated? Feel free to interact in the chat. And then obviously, let's speak about Solbakken a bit, because Di Marzio has confirmed that Solbakken took time to decide, but he has accepted a move to Olympiacos. Now this now means that if Roma and Olympiacos find an agreement, Solbakken will leave. Do I regret this? No, I don't. I've said this yesterday. Make sure to watch the live stream if you want my opinion on Solbakken. I think signing Azmoun was a precautionary signing because we knew that Solbakken was out of our project, and you know, if you look at it on this front, I think it's a very smart move, because if the Azmoun deal was a taster to Lukaku's deal, and we bought Azmoun precautionally because we knew that if the offer came for Solbakken, then he would leave, this is a massively smart move. Because now having bought Azmoun allows you, even if you sell Solbakken, to have a replacement. So, if you look at it on this side, I think the Azmoun deal is a very, very smart move. Because I think it was made as a taster to Lukaku, but also because we knew that maybe an offer would have come for Solbakken, and that if an 8 million offer comes for Solbakken, you just can't say no to it. Problem which I'm reading is that maybe Solbakken is going to go on loan to Olympiacos. I wouldn't complain. I do think Solbakken needs an overseas experience. I think at Roma, seen his team, his past team, seen his age, I think he's got a lot of pressure, and I don't think this pressure is helping him. If he goes to a team like Olympiacos, who are going to play Europa League, are going to play the playoffs tonight, and you know, is one of the biggest teams of their own country, he can have just a big role, a big position, and I definitely think that can help him grow. And if that's the case, then we can get him back. However, sometimes I stick with the idea that sometimes you just got to take decisions. And instead of going, maybe I'm going to loan him out and maybe wait for a few years and get him back, I am a person which would rather get a yes or no answer straight away. And in this case, I would rather, instead of wasting time loaning him out, seeing how he plays, and then maybe getting him back, I'd rather get the 8 million now, sell him permanently, and reinvest that 8 million immediately. Because if he goes on loan, we wouldn't get the money now. So we wouldn't reinvest that money. So I think, yeah, I just feel like I'd rather sell him permanently, but I wouldn't complain if it's a loan. If it's a loan, then we got to pay attention to him, because if he plays well, then he can always come handy in our team. Problem is, he hasn't been playing well, so he's not good enough, so he has to leave. But that's just my take on this. Yeah. I feel like, you know, coming towards the end, 24 hours to go until the window ends, you look at the transfer window, and overall statement is that, I mean, first of all, it started off really well because we signed two very good players very early before the transfer window even kicked in. Free agents, we knew that those were big opportunities. We launched ourselves on those opportunities, to try and anticipate the competition, because let's not forget Ndika was followed by a few clubs. Maybe not a war, but we've decided to step up and be quick on signing two players, which this season are going to be big names, big part of this project. Then we had a period of mental delirium, in a sense that every day we woke up and we were linked with a new name. And I am not joking, I'm not exaggerating, everybody will remember this. We had a few weeks where it was just like Arnautovic one day, Scamacca the other day, Zapata the next day, Renato Sanchez the next day, Paredes the next day, Matic leaves, Matic stays, Demiral in defense. We just had a mental delirium. I call it a mental delirium because it was an actual delirium. And then, after Matic parted ways with us, we've realized that we were delayed in the transfer window and had to speed things up. And therefore, we signed Paredes, we signed Renato Sanchez, we signed Azmoun, and we signed Lukaku. So overall, I mean, if you would have told me on the way back from Budapest that in this summer window, with no Champions League football, with 100 of sanctions against us because FFP, if you would have told me that we would have signed a decent player like Aouar and Ndika on a free, a surprise signing like Romelu Lukaku up front, and you backed all of these big signings with players like Azmoun, Christensen, and these little deals, I would have called you crazy. So you have to give credits to what we have done. You might like a few things, you might hate a few things. We've wasted definitely too much time on some deals. That's something which we can all agree on. Maybe we didn't have to sell Ibanez, but then if we didn't sell Ibanez, Lukaku would have never happened. So sometimes we have to take decisions. And, this summer window was also a summer window full of surprises. Matic leaving was a surprise to us. And I think we've tackled these decisions well. I would not give it a 10 out of 10, obviously. I would not give it a 9 out of 10 because we still have liabilities on the fullbacks and we still have a goalkeeper, which in my opinion is a finished goalkeeper. But this is a transfer window with seeing the initial circumstances that we've played in and that we were part of, losing on penalties and not qualifying for the Champions League, and starting the transfer window knowing that it would have been a very complicated one with financial fair play. I would easily give this summer window an 8 out of 10. And I think you got to give credits. I'm going to give this transfer window an 8 out of 10. It would become a 9 out of 10 I'm going to give this summer window a 7 out of 10. It would become an 8 out of 10 if the fitness of a lot of these players would kind of be perfect. And it would become a 9 out of 10 if we would have gotten these players earlier. But again, players like Lukaku, would have been impossible to get before because Chelsea weren't open to loan him out. So I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. Let me know your votes and, where do you rank this summer window? From 1 to 10, 6 being average, 7 being good average, 10 out of 10 is impossible, let me know what you're going to give it. Are you happy Solbakken is leaving? I am. Let's glance at Champions League draw, shall we? I know Roma isn't in it, but it's always interesting to have a little chat, debate about these topics. We desperately need Champions League football, lads. I mean, I was watching the draw today, and the fact that Lazio was in it and we weren't was depressing. It was absolutely depressing. But I mean, I'm gonna focus on the Italian teams because obviously Roma is a is an Italian team. So I'm gonna focus on commenting the draw of the Italian teams. Let me just get a picture of them because I can't remember them very well. There we go. Now we have Napoli with Real Madrid, Sparta Braga, and Union Berlin. I think Real Madrid tops this. You know, Napoli, great team, but Real Madrid are Real Madrid. Bellingham, incredible signing, backed with Vini, backed with Rodrigo, absolutely insane. Union Berlin is a sneaky one though. You know, if I were Napoli, I would the one game which I would focus on the most is the Union Berlin game, because Union Berlin, as at time of speaking, is the best team in Germany. Played 2 goals, scored 8 goals. So it's one of those games which playing in Germany is going to be very complicated, but I believe Napoli can do it. And then the second one is Lazio. I mean, this group stage is... I would, like... Sometimes, I swear to God, somebody wants to make things happen. Like... Can we imagine a group stage with Feyenoord and Lazio in it? Like, it smells of sewage all the way through. Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio and Celtic. It's just a rats group. Feyenoord and Lazio together. I mean, oh my God. Anyways, Lazio. I've seen Lazio fans be confident. Go, yeah, we're gonna go through. I wouldn't be that confident. You know, Atletico Madrid are clearly the favourites. Then you've got Feyenoord, who it's a very complicated away game. I mean, I remember us playing against them last season. Yes, it was a quarter final of a European tournament. Yes, it was a you know, we are one of their biggest rivals and all of that, but I remember the atmosphere at the De Kuip of Rotterdam, and it was fire. So that's a complicated away game to play in. Lazio are never going to win in Rotterdam, if you ask me. And same discussion with Celtic. Lazio may be a better team, but I am convinced that Lazio are not going to win in Glasgow. It's just not going to happen. So yes, they are. I mean, Atletico Madrid are their favourites. They have to get second. If they don't get second, it's embarrassing. But it's a complicated one. I wouldn't completely, you know, walk away with knowing that I'm gonna go through, because you've got complicated away games in Lazio's group stage. Because Feyenoord and Celtic and obviously Atletico Madrid are all very complicated away games, which forces you to get maximum points at home. And if they can fill the stadium, it will definitely help. And then the last one is Milan. Group F is the group of death. PSG, Dortmund, Milan, and Newcastle. Tonali back in Milan. You see, somebody up there just wants these things to happen. Tonali back in Milan. Milan fans say it's a group of death. I have a lot of faith in Milan here, because if on their day, I think Milan beats all of these teams. PSG, great team, but we know their Champions League liabilities. Dortmund, I think, is getting last in this group stage. Sold Haaland 2 years ago, sold Bellingham this season. Newcastle is going to be the dark horse of the Champions League, but let's not forget that they are a team which 2 years ago was fighting to not get relegated. And they are definitely not experienced enough to play in the Champions League. I believe in Milan. I truly believe in Milan. I think Milan can do it. It's complicated. It's very complicated. Roma would never get through this group stage, but it's a very complicated. But also, if you look at it on the real side, I think on their day, Milan are the best team out of all these. So yeah. Can't wait till the Champions League to be back. Europa League draw tomorrow. Conference League and Europa League tomorrow. It's at 1 p.m. Italian time, 12 p.m. UK time. Because it's tomorrow, because some teams are still playing in the qualifiers tonight. So we're going to wait until all of them qualify, and Conference League as well. By the way, what is Fiorentina doing? Because Fiorentina is playing the qualifiers of the Conference League. Fiorentina's winning 1-0. Good. We need Fiorentina to go through so they can kind of focus away from the league and try to win the Conference League. They will want redemption this season. I want Fiorentina to go. I'm not saying Fiorentina are going to get top 4, obviously, but Fiorentina is a team which can pose a lot of difficulties to teams. So the more they go forward in the Conference League, the better for us. And then we've got us. We will know our Europa League fate tomorrow. But again, who cares about the draw tomorrow? Who cares about deadline day? There is just one focus tomorrow. And that focus is on a very delicate 90 minutes. Very, extremely, superficially delicate 20 minutes. I wish. 90 minutes. Because if you lose tomorrow, you're not getting top 4. Guaranteed. If you win tomorrow, you reopen things up. If you draw tomorrow is useless for Roma. It's useful for Milan because they won the 2 games. It's useless to us. But yeah, bring it on. Stadium vlog will come. So set reminder down below by clicking the bell notification button. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to catch you tomorrow, maybe with a Europa League draw live. However, I'm not promising it because I need to do something at school tomorrow, just real quick, 1 hour. But I am going to school just during the Europa League draw thingy. If I'm back home in time, I will go live for the draw. Otherwise, let me know in the comments of this video who you think you'll get, who you think we'll get, and yeah. I will catch you tomorrow. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you've already done it, get your friends and families to do the same. And yeah, talk to you soon. Simo out. Do you think we'll get one last signing? Do you think Solbakken will leave? Let me know your thoughts down below. See you.